you have to
I have
go
a
to the
question.
school
I
website.
have a question.
Okay?
Nakabaliktad naman.
If you want 100%, okay? Oh, I see. It's somebody who wasn't you. Okay. My apologies. Okay, so if you want 100% remote learning, you go to the school website. I'm going to click the school website right here. And that's is238.com. Now, learning preference survey. If you didn't fill this out, you need to fill it out now if you want remote learning. You can't drop a line to an email. You can't say, I want this. The DOE needs a record of this. And this is a centrally www.is23.com. And also, again, this website has a lot of information, but I know a lot of people are not visiting it. So please go there and check it out. A lot of the answers to your questions will be found there, just like the announcement about tonight's meeting. Okay? All right. It's too late to choose blended learning, which is in person. You will be able to switch in November. We have not gotten a date yet, but it's too late now for you to say, I want to send my child to school, and I'm sorry. But we do have to program, and we have programmed already. So here are the changes, the big ones. School now begins on September 16th, remotely for everyone. Okay. Blended learning, which is the in-person, will begin on September 27th. Calendar that I put up, and I'm going to put the new one up on the website. So, now again, let's just go back. I had to change the calendar that I put up. Now again, let's just go back. I had to change the calendar that I put up, and I'm going to put the new one up on the website. So, okay. Now again, let's just go back. I had to change the calendar that I put up, and I'm going to put the new one up on the website. Remote learning starts for everyone, even if you're going in person. Everybody starts the 16th at home. Remote learning. September 16th. Remote learning starts for everyone, even if you're going in person. Testing out things. Everybody starts the 16th at home. Remote learning. And for those 3 days, we'll get everybody ready and start testing out things so they understand what's going on. Now, here's where people are going to say, hey, wait a minute, why is Group A 2 days in a row? On Monday, we start Group A. Remember, we alternate each week. Now, here's where people are going to say, hey, wait a minute, why is Group A 2 days in a row? There is no school on Monday. Because remember, we alternate each week. But the following week, I'm sorry, there is no school on Monday. So Group B will not start that Monday. Okay? Good morning. Good morning. But the days that never change. Okay, someone's funny. I get it. Are Group A comes in on Tuesday and Thursday. And Group B, the days that never change. Wednesday and Friday. The only date that ever changes is the Group A comes in on Tuesday and Thursday.
Na, pera mo akong headset.
And Group B comes in on Wednesday and Friday. The only date that ever changes is the Monday. 1 week it's Group A, 1 week it's Group B. Okay. And this will be put up on the website afterwards as the new calendar. Okay.
Please.
Programs will be available on the NYC Schools account. If you need an NY Schools account creation code letter, you can email Ms. Boone, our parent coordinator, and there's her email address, or Mr. Habibi, and there's his email address. Okay? Now, I know that Miss Boone is the most popular person in all of IS 238 and beyond. So I'm going to tell you something. You might want to say, I'm going to email Mr. Habibi because maybe not many people are emailing him, and I'll get a quicker response. Because if we all email Ms. Boone, it's going to take her some time. So it's just like if you got on a line. If the line to the right is shorter, go to that line. You can still wave to Miss Boone on the other line, and she will still love you. But it's okay. The New York City Schools account is replacing Pupil Path. You will no longer have Pupil Path, and you must use your NY Schools account email to communicate with school staff, and this is really for security purposes. Okay? It's not really a good idea for us to respond to emails from email accounts that we don't even know the name and give out student information. It's really not the way we want to do business. And some of you know that I have said I would not send you things because you might have had an email address that wasn't even your name, or you said I'm emailing for somebody. We can't do that. Okay, so let me just recap again. You do not need to send everybody emails saying, my Google Classroom doesn't work. It doesn't work because we haven't started school. I know you're very anxious, but school hasn't started yet, so that's why you can't access it. Okay? Think of it this way now. Google Classroom is like a real classroom. So I wouldn't let you walk into the building 3 days before school starts and sit in an empty room, would I? No, I wouldn't. So that's why you can't access it, because there's nobody there. Okay? It's not a defect. It's not that anybody's hiding anything. It's just school hasn't started yet. Okay? And again, the school website. Let's go there one more time.
Thank you.
If you want 100% remote learning, you need to click this and fill out the information. Okay? If you do not have a New York NYC Schools account, you need to get one. And the information is here. If you go there, you may already have an account and you forgot. So check here first. You may not have activated your child's account. Okay? So you would go here first. If nothing happens, then you know you can ask Miss Boone or Mr. Habibi, and they will help you. And now that we are getting closer to the start of school, I will create a special section
Ayaw bumabasa ka pa.
up here to keep the information
Kung
a
gusto mong
little
manood
easier
ng
to
yung
find.
iPad na blue, ato doon sa kabilang kwarto.
Okay.
Doon sa kabilang kwarto doon.
Pinala ka?
Hindi, doon sa tapat.
Okay. And just one more time again, I want to explain. Mondays, or when we switch Group A and Group B. Okay? And I will post one of these calendars every month to make sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be. And again, I cannot stress enough
Nasa iyo.
the need for the NYC Schools account. Okay. Now, this would be, I guess, the time we could take some questions, or do we already have some questions? Or
Mr. Letty, someone did ask a question about the September 16th to the 18th. Is that remote learning for everybody?
It is remote learning for Now, I also want to make everybody understand. Everyone, yes, hold on 1 minute. Everyone will be doing remote learning. Okay, some people will do a full remote learning, and then other people will do a blended, which is they come in. Everybody's always got a remote learning part. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we can take some questions now.
Yes, I would like to ask one.
Yes, one candidate. Okay.
Okay.
My question is, my child is going to school for the first time as a sixth grader, but I have gotten no information if she's in group A or group B. No one has called me, no one has contacted me, no letter, no nothing, so I'm confused.
Okay, have you gone to the school website?
Yes, I have.
Okay, have you emailed any of the people to let us know? Because here's the problem. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to email Ms. Boone your name and contact information, and then we will get you that information. Unfortunately, the problem being students that moved from 5th grade to 6th grade, a lot of the contact information was never updated. So I made phone calls, and I have people making phone calls, but since we've never met anybody and you've never submitted any paperwork to us, a lot of the numbers are disconnected, a lot of the numbers no answer, or it's a wrong number. So I understand your frustration, but we have been making it available for people to reach out to us in some way. So if you email Ms. Boone or Mr. Habibi, we will definitely get you that information tomorrow, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I can actually send it to her tonight, so I'm putting my email in the chat.
Okay, very good. Okay, were there any other questions, Ms. Colaga?
Yeah, there's a few questions here. The first one is, I have applied for an iPad for my child. When will I be able to know if one will be available for her?
Unfortunately, they will contact you directly when you applied for it. So, and I don't like to give answers like that, but that's not our area. I will tell you though, in the event they don't get in touch with you when school starts, you know, we will reach out and try to get you something from the school if we had. But they do have a lot of orders, and I was told that they will get these electronic devices to the parents before school starts. Now remember, again, I understand everybody's anxious, but that's probably one of the reasons they actually moved the start date back a little between you and me. That might have been one of the reasons also, to make sure that they had all the devices ready.
Another question is asking, when will programs be available on NYC Schools account?
Okay, I'm glad somebody asked that. So, the program was completed today, actually. And that will probably pop up on the school's account at some point in either, I don't know if it's there tonight, it might not be. It usually takes about 24 hours, 48 hours. But I will tell everyone, again, if you log in and you see it and there's errors, there may be errors. And we will fix it. But the point is, at this stage, we wanted to make sure that we had programs, teachers, students in classes, because most of the time, probably 85% of the students won't need any changes done. Now, some people may say, well, 85%, that's not really that high. It's actually pretty good for the school our size. Most of the time, the areas we need to tweak and correct is that sometimes students are English language learners, and we didn't know that. students that maybe had an IEP and we weren't advised of the changes. So they're not long fixes, but it's better to have a program than nothing. So it'll be up there. And again, if you have the questions, you can always contact and then we'll take care of it.
The next question is, are the remote learning students going to get any off for holiday?
Every day's a no.
Tinatanong ko
Not every day is a
kung may holiday
In my-
daw ang
in
ano.
my mind,
Kahit
I
yung
think every day is
naka-remote.
a holiday. I appreciate every day. But yes, you will have the
Di ba
same
nga
days
nag-
off as the regular students. The holidays are still going to be the holidays unless somebody in authority way above me decides that they don't have that holiday. And the only reason I say that is you do remember in April they took away the spring break. But if we're off from school, you're off from remote learning. But you're never really off from learning. So I'll just tell you that.
The next question is remote learning going to be pre-recorded videos or live sessions?
There will be a combination of things. We definitely heard parents were not satisfied with the way things were rolled out. I agree. And that has been addressed. Teachers now, there has to be a certain amount of live instruction that students will get, and we will definitely monitor that. However, I also need people to understand something about education in general. I understand the importance of live instruction, but don't confuse live instruction as just a teacher talking like I'm doing right now. Live instruction can also be the teacher present while students are working and they answer questions for them, or they give some coaching to the students or their assistants. It's not always the teacher talking. And on the other end, independent learning is also a way for students to improve. It's what I like to call productive struggle. If I always give you the answer, you're never going to learn how to do it yourself. Now, that's not me saying we're not having live instruction, but just because you see your child working alone on something doesn't mean the teacher's not doing their job, okay? If you see that your child's doing that all week, yeah, then let me know. But that should not happen. And we're gonna try our best to make sure it doesn't, because we do want that. We're even gonna have office hours for teachers, 20 minutes a day, where they can reach out and speak to parents or students and work on that. And also I'm going to try to get some remote tutoring, and that would be available to all students. I want to see if I can get some teachers maybe that would be available to give like homework help or something like that, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. But we'll get more information once we start.
The next question is, do you need an NYC schools account for both?
You have the option. Some parents, they get the 2 letters depending on how you filled out your information of who the guardians are. So some families have letters, some families have 1. It's up to the family who wants. They don't necessarily have to have it, but the person who has it will be then the one who communicates. The students need it as well. The students need that account as well, and the parent is the one who activates the school account for the child. Okay, once you make your account, you have to activate your child's account. So it all comes down to your own preference. If we have 2 parents that don't live together, maybe each parent wants their own account, which they did give if they have that access, then that's fine. But if it's just the one parent that wants to deal with it, it's totally up to the parent. Yes, Ms. Boone? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that there are some, when we generate the letter from DOE, it's either 2 parents that are listed or 2 guardians that are listed or the 1. So I cannot make that happen. I have been asked to do so. I cannot do that. As you said, it's generated from DOE. And also, if parents have forgotten the email that they used when they signed up for NYC account, they give me their OSIS or OSIS 290 number, and it will show you the email that was actually used. So I will give that to them.
Okay, yes. Again, I get, trust me, I understand the frustration people are feeling. And I know a lot of you, here's the situation here. Everyone who is here and everybody who's watching is somebody that is very concerned about their child's education. That's why you're here. Okay? So then you're kind of similar to me. You want to make sure that everything is set up and you don't want to wait till the last minute. I understand that. However, school doesn't start until 2 weeks from now, and everybody's trying to get their thing started. So I'm very confident we're going to get you all the information you would need before the time comes. It's not going to be this minute exact. Some people have gotten their stuff, some people haven't, but you will get it. And I do understand that you're worried about it. And again, the other thing I'm going to stress as we begin school, because here's the other thing I need everybody to understand. The two ladies that are on my side or either side, Ms. Boone and Ms. Gleiger, nobody's back to work yet except us. And then some of the assistant principals, and they're the ones doing all this other work that needs to be done. So it's not like schools have their entire staff back. So it's only a few people. So that's why when we start back to school, things will move even quicker because there'll be more people working. Okay? And once we do get back to school, I'm going to put something out to ask parents to update any of their information. Because when Ms. Boone even brought up the fact whose name is on a letter that gets generated, that comes from the information you gave, whether it was when you entered our school